Welcome to the weekly wrestling recap, as I like to call it, the wrestling show. I'm Cav Manning, along with Mr. Billy Body.
Hey, guess what? This week, I called Cav to do the show without recording the show yesterday. As in, we actually wanted to talk about wrestling in our spare time. Well, we did like 10 minutes yesterday. We could have done a show.
Yeah, we could have. A lot of stuff that we couldn't talk about. That's more the problem of that we didn't record.
That's
sure.
something. I originally called him about something that I couldn't talk about. But other than that, we did move on to this whole WrestleMania thing.
Yeah, and friends of mine are saying, they're not excited for, Mania this year at all. And I said, you know what? It was a great build-up up until this last Towelhead pay-per-view.
Yeah. So you were saying what goes kind of hand in hand with a lot of social media. You know what I hate? Like, I hate it when I'm out on the motorway or I'm driving at the moment, but you call it the freeway.
Yeah.
And you can't see like any other cars. I can see cars behind me. So I feel like I'm setting the pace for the whole motorway.
Yeah.
I hate it. I need to move on.
You feel like you have to jam the gas. Like you're going too slow.
I feel like I've missed a speed limit or something. I don't understand why all the cars are that far back. Right, so I'm just going to get into the middle lane. So it helps me do the show as well. I don't want to be driving at like 90 when I'm doing a show.
That'd be a good show when you get pulled over.
Or crash.
It's even better show.
History. It'll be like, this will be the most listened to show ever. It'll be
I know. I'll be like, it better be. Otherwise, how the hell are we going to top it?
It'll be like viral. So yeah, we were saying how a lot of people were saying they were really into it, and then their mood's gone right down just because Fiend lost, right? I guess that was the term.
Yeah.
That whole pay-per-view. And
then you get Undertaker and AJ, which kind of is like, the setup is him actually beating him? What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I mean, we said this last week. We did the Saudi show. We did that, right? It went out. It wasn't a phone call we had. No, that was a show.
Uh-huh.
Right. I just got confused because we did the show with that girl and...
Oh, boy, did I get reviews from people. Comment.
Oh, really? What did they
Right
say?
away. Hey, I'm listening to that interview you're doing trying to pull fucking information from your guest. And I go, oh, we talked about it afterwards and said... What a fucking bore, and how fucking tough of a fucking interview, because I'm like, yeah, she wasn't looking at doing anything. And I said, and Billy deleted 10 minutes because it was him talking, and at the end of it, she goes, I don't care. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, oh my God, what a fucking nightmare. A woman who's, this is what you can find on The Man Show, everybody, by the way. A woman who's plays with her pussy on TV for a living. She was uncomfortable with me asking her what age she developed. Jesus fucking Christ.
And also, had answered questions in terms of when we were saying, so when did you, realize you want to do this? Did you, was you just... I think I said, was it a lot of compliments that made you think you could do it? And then she was like, I don't know. I just decided to do it. She was like, thanks for that.
Yeah, that was a big lead-in answer. Yeah, I just decided to. All right. Oh, right away there was just wanted to do it. Well, walk us through. Oh my God, what a fucking nightmare. What a fucking nightmare that was. But anyway, that's The Man Show. The biggest takeaway I had this week, other than, and we had the Drew thing in the beginning, of course, which we'll talk about. The biggest thing I think everybody is going crazy from, I think maybe there's 3 things to get to. You have Aleister Black finally fucking losing, but meanwhile, he's protected because he had to go through 3 fucking people. Ricochet being a jobber, losing to whatever that guy's name is. I don't even fucking know.
Riddick Moss.
There you go.
Get this one. Yeah. While we're on the side, I don't want to forget this, and we go off to something else. So Meltzer broke a story straight after. This is where Dave Meltzer's at with his career right now. So he said Vince McMahon may be ready to... I think Vince McMahon... no, he put it as a story, actually. It wasn't maybe. The dirt sheets reported it as, has Vince McMahon given up on Ricochet, ?
Oh.
But his story is, I heard Vince McMahon has lost interest in Ricochet. that was his breaking news. So they reported it as, has Vince McMahon lost interest in Ricochet? Because they're obviously quoting his story. And his story was, I've heard Vince McMahon is done with like Ricochet. I heard that he's lost interest. It's like, well, yeah, he fucking lost to Riddick Moss and he lost to Brock Lesnar, and you came on and you charged $9.99 to give a story out to people that said Vince McMahon has lost interest in Ricochet.
Oh God!
I really needed to be a subscriber to see that. Like, I couldn't figure that out from the TV. I mean, it's probably not even a fact. It's probably literally like.
I think they're doing a storyline to where he loses a lot now. Because it was like quick by Brock and now this, and he had a look on his face like, what the fuck is wrong with me? So,
I mean, Meltzer's even nowadays, he's either wrong, like completely wrong, or he does stuff like somebody gets stabbed. He witnesses somebody get stabbed like 70 times, and then he like turns around, he turns around to someone and says, "He's dead." like that's the level of like the intellect. It's even blatantly fucking obvious.
He's the Booger McFarlane. He's the Booger McFarlane of wrestling.
So I think he might be wrong as well, and you might be right, because there's a video emerging where he waves to the crowd, but before he leaves, like behind the scene, he's like ripping off his tape and like throwing it away off his wrists.
Yeah, there's no way they're gonna take a guy that's that does that much stuff and just be like, fuck it, now you're a slob. So I think it was a way to get this other guy a big win because he's still got the cachet of being a big name, and it's like, look who he beat, fucking Ricochet. So, and since we're already gonna cash out Ricochet, he couldn't have done that after the 5th time Ricochet loses. He has to be the first almost in line, which he's second in line, really. But
apparently he has a reputation like for not being able to talk, like no matter what, like no matter how much time they spend with him. Like,
who's that, Ricochet?
Yeah,
I could see that. You could tell he's not Mr. Charisma.
No,
he's just no. I mean, he's normal. I don't think he's bad. He's just normal, a normal guy. Like if you were to talk to somebody, that's it. There's no sizzle.
But that's the thing, like last year him and Black came up together as a tag team, and I figured, well, that's a terrible way for them to like come up, because they really need guys to like go and be something.
That was odd.
And now it's like they're almost both better off in that team, because at least they were doing something, where like Black is just fucking riddles and bullshit and boredom. Like, I hate it when he's on. Like, it's just,
I remember
nothing to him at all.
In New Orleans at the airport for Mania, seeing Black and Zelina together, like hanging out in Starbucks and shit like that. And I remember I said to Fauci, I'm like, oh, look who's trying to bone. Meanwhile, well, guess that worked.
Yeah.
I think the biggest standout to me this week is, what is the date of November 11th? 2019, Billy. What happened November 11th, 2019?
November the 11th, 2019.
Yes, what happened on November the 11th, 2019?
Wrestling related or not?
Yes. There's no way you're going to fucking get this thing. This is...
I might do. Just give me one more clue, like who it's pertains to.
Well, it pertains to something big that happened this week.
November the 11th was 1 week after Super Showdown, but it was round about the Go Home show of Survivor Series, I would say, right?
You got me. I just feel it's a Raw. It was on Raw.
All right, so I'm thinking Go Home show of Survivor Series, but I can't think of anything that happened on it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Nah, you got.
Yeah, I mean, this is craziness. It'd be crazy if you were to fucking remember this.
Who's it to do? Who's it to do with? Let me see if I can get it.
Well, you'll get it as soon as I tell you who it has to do with.
Oh.
It has to do with Eric Rowan.
Right. Did he debut this?
Cage.
He debuted the Cage.
He debuted the Cage November 11th. This many months later, they have all of this time for this payoff. What's in the cage? And they pull out a fucking spirit store mechanical fucking spider and try to pretend this is a fucking real spider. This is what they fucking come up. And as we know, they had no end game when they started this, and they said, we'll figure it out later, which is fucking pathetic. And I said, at this point, whatever they pulled out of this fucking cage would not live up to the hype. It's impossible. They could have pulled out a fucking alligator. It wouldn't have been like, oh my God, because it's normal. An alligator is a real thing. So I don't know what they could have. I really thought he was going to pull out a kitten. That was my fucking thought. I'm like, oh, because he's nuts, and it'll be something fucking nice, you know? And he'll be walking around with a kitten. I'm like, I really think, here's my next thing that is going to happen Monday. They will redo this, and they will say that some way, somehow, he will say that this was a joke. That it really wasn't that spider, and that he's not telling anybody. They wanted something, so I gave him something stupid. Because I think the backlash you're going to hear about how fucking retarded this is, that they'll be like, no, say he was just kidding and it wasn't the real thing. Because it's retarded.
Yeah, but don't you think it's too low down the card for people to care?
It is, but at the same time, I've looked at Twitter and people are like, this is the fucking most stupid shit. I mean, they just look like fucking morons. If he pulled out Mae Young's hand out of there, it would have been a better fucking reaction. I would have been more pleased with that than a fucking giant mechanical fucking tarantula. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, and like I've talked to people, friends and shit, and everyone goes, well, not like I give a shit about Rowan, but Jesus Christ. He deserves better than this. I said right away, I tweeted, and I said, hey, go ask Luke Harper if he got a job for you. Because you deserve better than this. This is a fucking embarrassment.
I wonder if they had something better planned, but then they just...
I don't think they know where they're going. I guarantee you got to ask someone you know in there and say, do you know if they had anything planned for this other than 10 minutes before the fucking show started Monday? And said, you know what, I got it. And fucking Al Davis fucking McMahon was like, oh, this is fucking great.
And then to like reveal it like backstage to like No Way Jose. Just makes me feel like that's not what they were supposed to do.
And I even think of No Way Jose having a pair of balls and saying, this is so fucking stupid, I don't want to be part of it. But the motherfucker needs a job, so he's like, I'll do whatever the fuck you tell me to do. Because if it was anyone bigger, they would have the balls to go, that's so fucking horrible, I don't want to fucking be in the same room. They all fucking ran away. They screamed and ran away. So even if he goes, this is fake, this is a fake spider, they look like fucking retards.
I mean, they could have got a mechanical anything to be in there.
It's terrible. It's fucking awful. Like, what is he going to do now? He's going to come out, now the cage is going to be uncovered? And we're going to have the cameraman with the fucking camera into the fucking cage so you see it sitting there, jiggling around? He can't put it on somebody like it's a fucking Jake the Snake. It's fucking terrible.
I bet you that's what they do.
Oh my God, if he puts this on the fucking... They would almost have to have it flip into him that he's crazy and he thinks this thing is real. And obviously it's fake. They would have to turn it into that where the announcers go, he's got a fake spider in the cage as a pet. What's wrong with him? That's the next step I think they would go to. They acknowledge that it's fake and that he's out of his mind, that he's keeping this as a pet.
They might as well have got like one of them like sewer rats, like because they look abnormally like big.
Yeah, get the fucking Jim Cornette sewer rat. That's the only way. I mean, fuck, at least it's something.
I mean, this wasn't one of the main bits of Raw, though. Like, this wasn't my main take.
Oh, this was my big fucking... Well, wrestling is garbage still. That put the exclamation point on. This is why we all say, what the fuck is this?
Did you notice that, like, Street Profits didn't win the belts in Saudi because Owens wouldn't go because of Sami Zayn?
Oh,
So
God bless Owens then. If finally somebody with a pair of fucking balls that stands by their fucking words.
There's a few. There's more than him.
Yeah,
that won't go.
sure.
Cena doesn't go.
Yeah, I applaud those. Daniel Bryan. Yeah, good for them. Because they're like,
Sami Zayn's
fuck this.
Sami Zayn doesn't go, and then he's also not allowed.
Yeah, he's not allowed.
But I don't
Jew,
think he would.
God forbid.
I mean, he's a Muslim.
A Muslim Jew.
Yeah, which is weird.
The whole thing is fucking bizarre. And like, I was screaming about Vince before with the women thing, where they're like, oh, whatever you want, no women allowed, no problem. But they hoot and holler about how the evolution of women. And now, okay, now they're there, and they're like, look, we're getting change. Meanwhile, let me put you in a tent before you wrestle. And you have to be completely fucking covered, like Grimace in a fucking outfit. And I'm like...
See, that's what our Prime Minister got in trouble before, saying that these women, they look like letterboxes.
Oh, true life. They do look like...
and the scarf should be banned.
Oh, shit. That's true. And the thing is, they go, okay, so they got to be all fully covered. Okay, and wear a T-shirt on top of that, because if you're covered, your tits will be too squished and pushed out, and we can't handle this. We're all fucking crazy.
It's weird. It's very weird, right, that, the men are not covered because they're not allowed to be gay in their religion. So you would think that, wrestling outfits are quite homoerotic. It's not like boxing. They're very nice.
Yeah, and they're rubbing each other and shit, and they gotta yeah. I mean, it is very gay if you think about it. Yeah, they're guys in underwear rubbing each other.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm wondering why, especially with the underwear attire, the guys that wear the short trunks.
Yeah,
I would have thought they would have said
no,
don't
you gotta
come
wear
out there in
tights.
short trunks. Or the guys have to, or even the guys have to wear tops as well.
Yeah, especially Lashley, because we know he's packing. He got to wear he got to wear big giant baggy pants. It's fucking crazy. That whole country's fucking, half of them are fucking gay. And they're not allowed to say they're gay. So they're fucking just ruining other women's lives by going, all right, I guess I have to get married because, God forbid you admit you're a gay guy and ruin everything. But it's like, what's wrong with them that it's so fucking much that if they see a woman that is in a bikini, they'll fucking go crazy. It's like porno's banned there. If we allow porno over there wouldn't be a 9/11.
The weirdest thing is, they have the most booming and most beautiful whores over there. The girls that go over there to actually earn the biggest
That is what's
paydays.
funny, right? There is whores. I mean, they're busy with hookers constantly over there.
Yeah,
but,
big time.
Yeah, but they're like, don't you? I guess that's like, well, for a wife, I better have just slits for her fucking eyes. It's like, what the fuck? You think they just do makeup on their eyes only?
I have no idea. I think they do full makeup.
I've seen them eating spaghetti before, which is the most bizarre thing you'll ever see in your fucking life. Because how, right?
So they're eating spaghetti through the outfit.
There's the veil that hangs over from the nose down. So they're feeding it underneath the fucking drape. Like, oh my God. I guess that could double as a napkin at the same time, though.
That sounds like they've got some sort of sickness where they're getting fed through a straw or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're supposed to fuck through a sheet, right?
God, no, I don't think they do that at all.
I don't know. That's what they do. The Jews do that. So, about you enjoyed the whole Drew deal.
Yeah, I felt like I didn't think it was very necessary to do the whole Ricochet and Lesnar thing, especially after what it turned out to be. Mm-hmm. But, I think this got it back on track. My only concern, I don't think it's going to happen, mm-hmm. but it's very rare that you get to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania or at any show, and then get to beat him up in the build as well. So I would feel more comfortable if there is an angle now prior to Mania where Drew gets the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, he kind of has to. If he keeps beating the shit out of him, we're in big trouble.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that would happen because I think the plans ahead are, for him to take this belt on certain shows and they're lining up opponents and Rollins is in a holding pattern, and AJ and Orton, everybody's a heel. The thing is that Rollins, I assume, is going to come out of Mania with a win against Owens, but then it's going to take some rebuilding when Orton and AJ Styles get beaten by part-timers.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, a lot of these things where it's part-time guys, I don't know. I mean, Undertaker's the Undertaker. It really doesn't fucking like, oh, look who we got beat by. The reputation by itself, other than him tweeting.
I don't know. I think it's becoming quite damaging when the guy looks like he does and can't move.
He did have a proper fucking shirt on. I did watch when they were showing the replay, not a real shirt, but a wrestling shirt. But he doesn't have the singlet shirt on anymore, which I'm like, I bet you it's because his tits look terrible. So he's trying to cover up as much as he can. So it's like a arms cut off and the neck cut off, but not low.
Yeah, but why?
I think it's to hide his tits. I think he's got old man tits.
But that's weird because literally he only wrestled like a few months ago and they were out.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always a wall. They were probably shitty then, and he kept on looking and going, this is fucking bad. But, I mean, it's hard to blame somebody that's like they're like, oh, why don't he just stop already? Because if somebody offered you $1 million to show up once a year, you'd go, I'm fucking doing this until I am dead. You know?
It's not really on him. But the thing is that if he's going to come in and do it, why is he being booked to win that trophy, which is pointless? Like the original plan, which I also lost money on, was better in terms of AJ just winning that thing, and then being with the OC, who fuck knows they need something, and then you can remind them and say they won this cup, he won that cup in Saudi, like we're the greatest team, and I'm the greatest. They're the greatest team ever, and I'm the greatest wrestler ever. And then he comes out there once AJ's won the trophy. Mm-hmm. You don't give the trophy to the Undertaker and then give him the win over AJ. That's pointless. Like, he needs to be brought out by AJ's constant, boasting. AJ fucking boasted made one comment for 1 week, and then he did Rey Mysterio beating up out backstage, and he didn't even explain if there was any kind of background between Undertaker and Rey Mysterio. It's just fucking dumb. He just came there and just beat the OC up for no reason, so they look dumb anyway. And then he goes and just beats AJ. And then this week on Raw, they got Mark Wahlberg involved in this feud, who says that if I was AJ, I would just stay away, as if he needs to be shit scared of him. And then AJ needs all his guys to beat Aleister Black. And then this week they're at Elimination Chamber, and it's a no DQ match, which means obviously you're going into it thinking that the OC is just going to interfere, and that AJ will be 3-on-1. But then obviously for the next match, Undertaker will come out again because the Chamber needs stars to be there because it looks terrible. But then you've got AJ taking another loss, and also with Undertaker's in that bad a shape, you have a real possibility that everybody's thinking, AJ Taker. The card's pretty stacked. They could honestly do, for the rub, Undertaker and Aleister Black against the OC. I wouldn't think that would be that far-fetched.
Yeah. That is true.
I'd be worried about that. If Undertaker comes down this week, this Sunday, and he costs AJ the match, I don't see how Aleister Black just all of a sudden just gets out of it, because that means that they consider him relevant enough to do something at Mania if he's beating AJ. Because what I would do is I would just do a fucking rehab job, and I would just beat Aleister Black in the match clean on Sunday. That's what I would do.
Yeah, to get a little some rub, right?
Yeah, because at least he's respected, and then if they have to do something with Aleister Black, which I don't see why you have to, because he's fucking boring and he looks terrible. I would just then rehab him afterwards with something like a US title or something, which is pointless as well. Do you even know this weekend that Andrade's defending it against Korea?
No, not a fucking clue.
This pay-per-view just seems like it's fuck this pay-per-view. Why do we have to? Why have we? Every year it comes around, it's like, fuck, why have we done it? And then the thing is that Sheamus was declared for an Elimination Chamber match that isn't happening. Like, did you see this?
No.
So he was on SmackDown and he said he was the first. He declared himself as the first entrant into the Elimination Chamber.
Oh my god! Yeah,
and there's this great, there's this great like video going around. It said, and it's like some guy walking into like an empty room and no one's there. He goes, "This is Sheamus turning up for the Elimination Chamber that he declared himself for."
Oh my god!
It's so dumb. Like, how can you cancel and be changing your Mania plans? And also, why isn't there Elimination Chamber for the men? Because do you think this pay-per-view is going to sell with a fucking tag team Elimination Chamber match and the women's match that everybody knows who the winner is before it even happens?
I think it's probably why they're doing a tag team deal, because we all know that the women's match that it's going to be Shayna. So it's like, do you think that's why they didn't want to have match? Because it's another obvious one that Roman would win?
Yeah, but not as obvious as Shayna. I mean, Shayna's been doing stuff with Becky for the past few weeks. So, I mean, that's super obvious. But Roman wasn't as obvious, apart from the fact he confronted Goldberg, but I wouldn't have had him do that.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird that it was just, hey, here you go. It's, I'm in. You go, what the fuck? But I do understand that it's two that are crazy obvious.
That's why I'm thinking, like, they must surely think, fuck this pay-per-view. Like, why do we even have to do this? Like, they have to get there and do this pay-per-view. Can you imagine, like, having a ticket to this and thinking, oh, they got the Royal Rumble, they got the Elimination Chamber, it's going to be a big show coming up just before WrestleMania, like the second number one contender is going to be determined. That's normally what happens. And then you get this, and there isn't a top star on the show until they added Rollins and AJ this weekend, but Rollins is in a tag match and AJ's in a pointless match.
The whole thing, the more I even hear it, I'm fucking depressed. It's just so fucking bad now, dude.
I don't understand why anybody would have any interest in watching this show.
And the funny thing is, if they decide they're going to do this now, it's pay-per-view. They're trying to shop that around. What are you, fucking crazy?
Not pay-per-view. Not pay-per-view. It's not pay-per-view. They're on pay-per-view. People think that they're not on pay-per-view anymore, but they have been on pay-per-view ever since the network started.
Sure, that's your subscription of $10. Yeah.
No.
What?
No,
they're okay. I got you. What you mean? Yeah.
They're still on pay-per-view. Like,
sure.
If you don't want to pay for the network, you can still buy the pay-per-view. They only do like 20,000 buys now, like for the small ones. But I heard like that Mania still does like 100,000, which, I mean, that's down from like 1 million, but still like 10% of people just buy Mania on pay-per-view instead of being like wrapped up into any network commitments.
But the other one, are we talking about that it wouldn't be on the network at all anymore?
No, but it's not going to be pay-per-view either. So basically they're going to they're being bought out by a different streaming service. So WWE Network is going to be, I'm just walking to my house. I hope it hasn't changed the sound too much.
No, you're okay.
So WWE Network is going to be WWE Network with WWE content. Most likely, I assume NXT pay-per-views remain on there, but I just don't know. I don't know that for sure. But WWE pay-per-views, as in SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, all that stuff, will be moving to a different streaming network. So ESPN or Disney, whoever wins, the pay-per-views will just be owned by them. So basically it's still going to be, so it'd be $9.99 for the network and then another $14.99 for, so you still won't be going up to,
you're breaking up.
Now.
Go ahead. You wouldn't be going up to what? To like 60? He's disappeared. He's fallen off the fucking planet. Let's get back to Billy, and there he is. He's back. All right, Billy's back finally. So you'll tell us how how they're gonna charge. So it wouldn't be on the network, you say. It'd be like for ESPN, you would have to have the $5 subscription for ESPN plus.
Is it just $5? I thought it was like $14.99.
No, for ESPN, I think it's $5.
That's it.
You know what? You're probably right. I think it's probably 14. I couldn't tell you. I think someone actually said $5 once.
I think is it like $5 like introductory, like something like $5 to start or something, and then it goes up.
Let's see, ESPN.
I think it's called ESPN Plus, right?
Yeah, ESPN Plus. I'm going there now to see. Oh, it's $12.99 a month. But you get the bundle is $12.99. So it is $5 actually. Just ESPN Plus is $5. It's $12.99 with Hulu, Disney, and ESPN Plus.
Okay, which is weird because are they all tied together then? ESPN and Disney.
Yeah, they are owned by them. They're ABC, Disney. Yeah, it's all owned together.
So how come ESPN and Disney are supposed to be going for it separately? That's what doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Because the story was that he's trying to start a bidding war by making this Mania really good, and that's why the guy said to me they may pay out for Tyson Fury because they're trying to show people, they're trying to basically showcase WWE pay-per-views. Unless I got my wires crossed and ESPN and Disney were, collectively there, and they're then talking about other suitors who are not mentioned, like in terms of I don't know who, but because there are other streaming networks as well. I mean, Netflix could buy this, and YouTube could buy these pay-per-views and air them live because they have live content as well. Apple TV Plus, which is the new streaming network, are desperate. The point is wherever it goes, you're not going to be going back $60, and the likelihood is it will be going to a streaming service that you already have. It will probably go. It might go to YouTube Red. It might go to Apple TV Plus. It most likely will go to ESPN, but it will probably go somewhere that you already have. So anyway, even if you don't have it, you're only going to be paying another $10-15.
Okay.
Which everybody always said. I believe that the people that had the network always said that they wouldn't have minded paying $20 for it anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind paying for $20 for that for the network at all. That's fine with me too. If they were doing individual pay-per-views though, that you were actually having to do $15 when you wanted to see a pay-per-view, I'm still only doing a couple because I think they're shit.
Oh, because you just think pay-per-views are shit waste of time?
Yes, at this point, yeah. I wouldn't care anymore. I would be like, I mean, I watch them because I have the network at this point. 'Cause, I mean, obviously, there's the certain ones that you want to see. But other than that, you're like, I really don't give a fuck. I mean, half the time, I'm like, this is like a glorified Raw.
It's weird because, these are the same pay-per-views that you would weigh up for.
Oh, yeah. You would fucking go crazy. And the thing is, too, I try to get, you still get excited, ooh, I get to, fucking Sunday, gonna get something to eat and watch and this, and now you're like, I try.
For me, it wasn't just the big four that I would always look forward to. I would still look forward to in all those little in your houses or what are they called, No Mercies or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I don't know when I hit that point where it didn't.
Yeah,
I don't think it was that long. And it's weird now because it's aided by. For me, it's aided by the betting, which kind of keeps it going.
Yeah,
and I wonder if the betting was there, I don't know how interested I'd be at all. Because I think that is helping a lot.
Yeah, I think so. I can understand that by far. Yeah, very much.
So closing out. Well, not closing out entirely, but getting towards the last subject or whatever. You wanted to talk about more than me. how you didn't like the best thing because they can't go as far as they
Oh
used
yeah,
to.
totally forgot about that.
We had differing opinions on it. Well, I mean, we haven't. I mean, the tent poles of the show, like it started with Drew, which I thought was a good start, and I thought the end was good. In between, I felt like they messed up Shayna and they messed up Becky at the same time. Like this feud did exactly what the other ones did and went in completely the wrong direction. Like I don't know what was going on. So Becky gets her neck bitten, and then she comes out there being a joker, dressed in fancy dress, and basically her whole shtick. For some reason, I don't know if you agree. This week, I found her whole shtick really, really annoying, and I wanted her to get beat. But then at the same time, Baszler's in the ring having like a 2-segment match for her debut when she's a fucking killer. It's like, how can you book everybody wrong here? Like Becky looked like an idiot, and she was annoying me, and I wanted someone to beat the fuck out of her this week.
You know, I was glad that the Baszler thing lasted a little while because I'm like, didn't she lose to Kyrie in the fucking tournament and all that shit? So, you know, I was glad she didn't just go in there and whip the piss out of her.
But then don't put her in with Kyrie.
Oh, if you just wanted, I mean, well, I understand the whole just tearing through people, but at the same time, I would think they want to, you know, say, oh, look at the good match.
I put £300 bet down today
on Shayna to win.
On Baszler, no, because that was the odds were 1-5 on that. So I think if you bet 300 on it, you would win like $60 profit.
Oh my god!
But I bet 300 to make 150 profit on her to have the most eliminations.
Oh, during the thing. Okay.
Because basically that's much better odds.
Yeah.
Like 300 to win to make 150. That's much better. Like, and that's I've not parlayed it with nothing. I just want that 150 back. Because I feel like it's guaranteed. It's equally as guaranteed as her winning, because she will win, and when she wins, she'll be made to look strong. Like I would either have her. I don't know what's better. Her being in from number one and doing what the Brock did at the Rumble, but in the chamber instead. Like as they come in, she puts them out. Like she beats them in like 2 minutes and puts them out, and he's waiting for the next person, and she beats. Or whether she does the Goldberg and she comes in from number 6, and she just puts and everybody still wipes them out. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think number 1 has been ever done in the Elimination Chamber before.
Yeah, they haven't, and to make her big and scary, I guess. But
they need that now, because this week I lost a lot of interest in that match. I mean, but I don't know how you felt about it. And then obviously we're also getting Rollins and Owens, because Rollins said he was concentrating on the tag titles this week, getting the tag titles back, and after that, Owens could face him wherever he wanted, in any kind of match that he wants, which he's obviously, if he doesn't pick WrestleMania, then Kevin Owens is a moron.
Yeah, very true.
Although Finn Balor's taking his UK title shot in Dublin at UK pay-per-view, so whereas he could have it at WrestleMania, but he's not. So.
Jesus. Well, as I was saying about the end with the Beth thing.
Okay, go on.
Because they've gotten PG and all that, and barely doing PG-13, they obviously can't do the violence on women and stuff like that. So it was like,
so Cav wanted her to get raped, basically.
I wanted Orton to mouth fuck her, and then turn her around, pull her pants down, and spread her asshole, and like finger her in the asshole, and then make her taste it, and like horribly, and then do things to their children. So. You needed something, because all I remember is the whole Triple H and Stephanie deal. Well, Triple H is handcuffed. He kisses Stephanie on the lips. That was the greatest fucking thing ever I think we've seen. That is only second to Jake the Snake slapping Elizabeth. So they can't do this obviously anymore. And it's like, all right, he RKOs her one time. There was no brutality to where Edge has to be fucking killing himself because this happened.
I still think there is, but I mean, I think he could have like started caressing her like face and hair, and look like he was going to kiss her. And then if the camera got in really close, I think he could have like gone into and then moved away from her lips and then moved towards her ears and just gone, "I'm sorry."
Yeah,
like something like that looked like it was going to be sexual. And
but then at the same time, you'd be like, "Why is Beth allowing him to get that close to?" Like
no,
afterwards. Oh, I got you. Yeah, that is good. Then.
Yeah. After he RKO'd her, like he gets down on it, like he like goes towards her, like he slithers onto her, like he's gonna kiss her. But then he just like says, "I'm sorry" in her ear.
That's even better. Sure, that's better than what the hell we got.
Yeah, because.
What are you doing with the fucking microphone? Are you fucking rubbing it on yourself thinking about this? What?
No, what did it sound like?
It sounded like you were rubbing it against yourself.
No, I just moved it.
It's that beard.
Yeah, no, it's I've had to fucking get a lot of stuff done just in the last couple of minutes as I'm getting in. Fucking been driving around for like the whole day. I'm basically like out of my apartment, and
well, we should save this for the fucking man show.
Well, no. I'm out of my apartment, and like now I'm basically living between my dad's and the hotel till I get back from Orlando and find somewhere to live. But yeah, it's like I'm just basically trying to get to WrestleMania. But also I do this weird thing where like I sort of train for WrestleMania, but it's not like I'm not training to beat. My son said to me, "Why are you training more like for WrestleMania? You're not going to be in a match." But it's like I always do it because it's a holiday. I know I was trained before holiday. So it's the same thing. But it sounds like you're training for WrestleMania.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
But it's different when you go to the States all the time. Like every time before I go to the States, I try and lose 4 or 5 pounds because I will gain 7 or 8. It's guaranteed.
Yeah, that's true. You can't help yourself when you come here. You got to eat, man.
We don't have stuff like that here, but no, it just makes me. But the good thing is when I get back, it's like it doesn't. Nothing here appeals to me like that in terms of like I just think, well, this is just a shit version of that, and this is a shit version of that, and this is like it's just not as good. So like I don't want it. I know it's not. I want to be back there, which isn't possible. So the alternative is I may as well eat healthily. But even in general, like. I think one thing I'm really noticing by dieting is and cutting out the carbonated drinks, and then when I have one, like they are actually really bad, and I didn't realize like how shitty they make you feel.
You know, I don't feel that way with the carbonated drinks. I feel, and I've realized recently, if I have sugar or carb, the next day I feel like a fucking pig, and I'm like, all right, nothing for one day, and I really feel like a different fucking person that next day.
But it's so weird because I'm looking through like, so I was reading through this wrestling magazine. I used to buy this magazine called Power Slam when I was younger, and it's been bought back out, but now it's called Wrestle Talk instead. And it's basically the same magazine. You can tell like the format's the same, and they've tried to like rebrand it. And it's like they do all interviews with old people, or they do like through the archives and that. And they basically, obviously, they only purchased photos of Bret Hart from like one autograph signing from when he was like from back in the day, or they only had pictures of Bret Hart from autograph signings, and he's always there like drinking Coke, like full fat Coke. And these wrestlers used to drink full fat Coke and full fat sodas, and they used to have like steak and chips, or what do you call chips over there?
French fries, yeah.
And yeah, like it was a regular meal, and they used to drink like a lot of alcohol. So I don't know if all the stuff we know about like nutrition and stuff is true, because these guys' steroids wouldn't have necessarily been burning fats. Although now when I look back at them, it did. Now I look back at the wrestling now from back in the day, they just seemed to be big, but they didn't seem to be ripped. Like nobody's ripped, not even Bret Hart. Like actually, Bret Hart under that Hart Foundation gear has like a gut on it. They all do, except Warrior. And
Yeah,
Savage.
certain one. Yeah, I could see what you're talking about. I mean, even Shawn Michaels was remember he had Captain High Pants.
Yeah, because they all had tummies because they just wanted to be as big as possible. Like they were just eating be as big as possible. Hogan's doesn't look toned at all.
No, yeah, Hogan always had his pants pulled up too.
Yeah, so I mean, what's that like? I mean, I don't know how we're noticing this now, but then I don't know when this.
Well, it's like power lifters. You notice none of them got fucking cut bellies. They're all fat.
No, so I think Triple H was the guy that came in and changed that look around, and now everybody. I mean, it's ironic now that he's in charge of things, and now that look has become more, sort of more desired, but it's also become like more desired, like worldwide. Like, that's the look to have. But I don't think it was as big a deal back then. I think in the 80s and 90s, you just wanted to be as big as possible.
Yeah, I guess that was, that's why they say, blown up with the gas, because they look like they're, blown the fuck up.
Yeah, I think that's a far like easier look to achieve than this current one, where you like have to fucking. I'd rather it be cool to look big and where you could just eat and train, as opposed to like starving and training. So you don't have the fucking energy to do any training either.
Yeah, like they say with the empty stomach cardio, right?
Empty stomach cardio. It's like empty stomach all day. It's like just fucking just eat as little as you can and train as much as you can, and then just cut yourself up instead.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think when people are trying to build muscle, they always do the whole you got to eat 6 times a day shit.
Yeah, but what do they eat though? They just eat fucking.
Well, no, they're eating chicken and shit like that, and then they have some carb. They have their pasta or whatever,
I don't know about that. I don't. I think for boxers, yeah, because there's so much like training involved in terms of you can eat pasta and soccer players and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think these wrestlers I think they still cycle in on their steroids.
Well, I'm sure most of them are busy with it. So,
what do you think? Fucking Rude and Andrade got busted on because Andrade now gets pinned all the time. I've noticed.
That is interesting because you're like, all right, what is it, pot? Because you're like, well, I mean, I could see Rude on roids, but it's like if Andrade's doing roids, what the fuck is wrong with him?
Yeah, because you wonder what they're getting busted for because like they know they're going to get tested. So like, what did they even try to do? I would think that they're obviously been trying to. They've been sold sort of an alternative that hasn't worked. That's my theory. In terms of like some guy went, oh well, you can do this. It won't show up, and then it did.
Yeah, like somebody fucking gave him a stray. Said, oh, this will be fine. You won't get busted, and then they're like, there it is.
Yeah, like what do you think though? Because like I mean, this is obviously
I always think roids right off the bat. That's the first thing I think. It's either roids or fucking
and you
pot.
Think they're just dumb, and you do think they're just dumb, and they got caught, and they knew they were going to get tested, but they thought they could have got.
They figured it wasn't coming to them. Yeah.
That's what you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, it's just not coming, and oops, it does.
Who was that guy who basically broke a story that said, it's coming. They're all like, they're not random.
Yeah, it was for when we thought that was the problem with the gay porn star.
Oh yeah, Lars.
Yeah. It was.
I think that was
he freaked out and fucking left, so he didn't get busted.
I don't think he'll ever be back if he's not back now.
I really don't either. I can't imagine. How could you?
I mean, he was meant to get this Cena match now 2 years in a row, and now it's gone to Bray Wyatt. So,
Jesus Christ! All right, well, let's fucking end this so-called wrestling show. God, they got quite a bit of a fucking show today too. Jesus Christ! I love that we're always going to do 15 minutes.
Oh, we didn't say that today.
No, but I figured it was going to be something around there. I looked at the clock when it was like 8 minutes in, and I go, fuck, I think we're almost done.
Oh, I was expecting to finish it like in the car journey.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to get out, but
Jesus. Well, there's your wrestling show, folks. We will be back next week with more of this nonsense and see if they fucked up this thing and see if my prediction is right when it comes to Eric Rowan and what they say about this. For Billy, I'm Cav. We're out of time.